Before we get into today's video, guys, check it out. New merch finally dropped. I went to a little bit cleaner look this time. So I got a bunch of different hats. Let's pop up a picture right here. So that's the kind of hats I have. They're snapback, flex fit, different colors you can see. Unfortunately, that black camo, I just put it up 24, 48 hours ago, guys. They all sold out. I'm out. Like, you guys are insane. So I'm gonna get more on order. Let me know what you guys wanna see. If you want different colors, different types, you guys gotta let me know down in the comments. I'll have the link down below too to my website. 25 bucks a hat. I'm just gonna say it right here at the beginning of the video, make it simple and easy. And then it's $4 or $5 for shipping. And that's just because I don't make a ton on these two, so these are real flex fit, real Yupong, whatever, snapback hats. So you guys aren't getting cheap stuff either. If I'm not gonna wear it, I'm not gonna sell it, right? I like these kind of hats. I like paying the money for the nice stuff, because that's what I wanna wear. So yeah, go check it out, help support your brother out, and appreciate it, guys. Let's get to the video. All right, guys, what's going on? What's cracking? Let's go over some part numbers, some few other nuanced things, and get back to this build. All right, so I got some more parts in from Toyota. So let's go ahead and do this. This is the intake gasket. So this manifold, unlike all the other ones I've seen out there, this actually uses the factory Toyota metal gasket, which is nice. I personally prefer this instead of the O-rings. One, it's easy to get on and off versus the O-rings. They don't, really go bad, these metal gaskets. So really like that. Yeah, that's the part number. I also got a new crank bolt. So let's show you the part number for that first and foremost. There is the new crank bolt number. So don't really need to get this again. This is like $9 or $10. The one I have is fine. It's a little chewed up from impacts and stuff over the years, but you can see, it's like one of those things like, man, I'll keep this one. You never know, it doesn't hurt to have a spare, but fresh build, let's do a fresh bolt. Cheap, again, for what it is. Another item is this guy here. So this is your trans hole cover. So this is my old one. It's all beat up and dirty. It's gotten like kind of brittle almost, starting to fall apart. So got a new one, $7 from Toyota. There's the part number. If you have an automatic, not as crucial, but if you've got a manual, this is more crucial. This goes in here, blocks this hole off, doesn't allow dirt and debris to get up inside there. Dirt and debris is not a massive deal. I should say debris really is. You don't want rocks to get up in there, especially with your clutch. On the side, you've seen like a V160 has vent ports. They're higher up though. This is right up front. I've seen a video with Adam LZ and a couple other guys has stuff getting through there and cause, well, his transmission locked up because of it. All the shit, all the rocks that got up in there. Anything's possible, rather eliminate that. So a brand new rubber seal just made sense to me. What else we got here? I got a brand new, this is the 1-wire single temp sensor from Toyota. The one I had was perfectly fine, just was dirty. I'm like, man, if we're gonna do this, let's go ahead and put a new sensor in. Again, cheap. So I think this was $22 from Toyota. There's the part number for it. Again, that's the single wire that goes to your dash. That is not the other temp sensor that goes to the ECU. Two separate, that's just how the old school did it. You wanna have this, it's just a single wire. If you want your dash one to work, it doesn't really show you anything, but for me personally, I do like having it because why not? Then I got some bolts. And then I got some bolts here, guys. These here, which are these part numbers right here. Go here. This stuff is just on here too. So this all has to come off when I put the cams, shim it, do all that good stuff. But it's for these bolts here, again, you won't really see them, but I'm like, meh, might as well. I was already ordering parts and shipping is already costly. So I'm like, these are like 80 cents, just throw them in there. Versus if I wanted to go get them and then make a new order, it cost me $10 just in shipping. These are the engine mount bolts. So these actually hold the engine mount to the subframe. What's weird is this, they're all red. And I'm like, do they have red Loctite? Then I noticed that the actual, this piece here, the washer, doesn't spin, where the original ones that are all beat up and stuff spin freely. So I guess they Loctite them. Once you put them on, they're supposed to stay tight. When you break them loose, I guess these should be replaced. Wasn't sure. I've never replaced them before. I've reused those bolts over and over, never had them come loose. I have to usually take an impact to get them off, so never been a problem. I got some of these bolts too. These are for the AC compressor. So there we go, there. And let's flip this one over, right there. These are for the AC compressor. Here's the original ones. They're just starting to, well, corrode. You can see here, they're starting to corrode. Again, not a big deal, but again, I was already making an order. I'm just like, this is one of those times I just want to replace them. And I got the bolts for here and here. I do have these ones from Bell Metric. These are 10.9 metric ones, there and there. Again, not a big deal, but it's like, meh, why not? And I had to get some gaskets. So this is gasket water outlet. Which one's which here? Because there's two of them here, right? Which one's this? which one is this? This one is gasket water outlet, because there's two of them. So realistically, it's for two gaskets on the same side here. So the first gasket is gonna go here. This is your water outlet, and then another one here. I forgot to order them. I don't know why I did, but I did. So here and here. I was test fitting some of the Bare Boost titanium bolts on here. I did this on my wife's car too. So I put the studs on and then put two of his nuts because they're really small. So it works out and holds it on. So if we go over to her car, you'll see here, see how that's just a small, see if it'll focus. See that little nut on there? His are small enough that works for it, because if you actually have like a standard size 12mm nut, it's too big and it'll dig in. So the ones from Bare Boost work really well. They're actually for the intake manifold, but these actually work out extremely, extremely well. You won't be able to completely bottom them out, so you can't do that. You'll have to leave them out just a skosh, but that still gives you, hold on here. Oh my gosh. Still gives you, whoop, as I drop it, no! Still gives you a ton of thread in there. Again, you're not cranking these down crazy either, guys. So like, just remember that. Like, don't go ham. Don't destroy the threads inside your aluminum head. Just put them in like that. Same with these. Like, your studs should not be cranked in the head. They should just bottom out, get them in there, and then use your nuts to tighten everything up. Period. Don't do any more than that. Some other things that came in here too were these TRD motor mounts. Now, I actually took the sticker off and flipped it around because they're always upside down. Why? I have no idea. So that is the part number for a TRD motor mount. Now, I kind of wanted to talk about this because I bought these, but at the same time, I'm like, how do you know you have a real TRD motor mount? How? There is no way of knowing. So this part number here that's etched into it, which is upside down, so that's why I purposely left this one off, that you can see here. You guys can see it there with focus. That part number there is the same for a TRD versus or a non-TRD. And I went back to the old super forums, all this stuff. There is no way of knowing without what they call doing the screwdriver test. You take a screwdriver, press it into the rubber to see the stiffness of it and to check the durometer really. To me, that's really just, it's stupid. Like the fact that TRD never made a stamp on this, nothing. This is the same aluminum housing, same everything. The only thing that's different is the rubber itself. So everything else is the same. The studs, the aluminum, everything's the same besides the rubber. And how are you supposed to really know? Sticking a screwdriver in it, really? Like that doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. So for me, like that just seems insane. So I still bought them because I'm like, you know what, screw it. It was like a little bit more money. I'm just going to give it a whim. Again, I put the new nut on there with that red Loctite on it. So we'll see. I really don't know. It just seems crazy to me that there's no real way to tell it. Again, if you look up this part number here, whether it's TRD or non-TRD, they all have the same old Superform stuff. We're talking 15, 20 years ago. So before, like the Chinese were even good at making any type of knockoff when they sucked at it. Now they've gotten very good. Back in the day, they sucked. They couldn't make a 1-for-1. It wasn't possible. They just were terrible at it. But this is what it looked like. This is what it would come with stamped on it, and it would come with a sticker like this. Now, the sticker has changed multiple times. I've seen 3 different types. I've seen this type. I've seen one that has like a little red TRD stamp in the side, and then one that said Technocraft, which was another version of TRD too. So I never know. They will have that same part number, that 12360 JZ800. I don't know. You guys can tell me if you see otherwise. Wanted to show you this too though. I'll get you guys the part number or the type. That is a dress-up bolt, titanium bolt in there with some blue Loctite on it because I don't want it coming loose. I thought that was pretty cool. They offer a nut that is big enough to fit in there, thread in, and fine to it. I believe that's, I want to say that's M10 by 1 1/4. I will double check it here, put it up on the screen for y'all. But yeah, pretty happy about that. And let's go on to some of the other stuff now. Also started putting some spark plugs in. Now I want to be clear. These are startup plugs. What are startup plugs? Meaning, don't gap them, don't do anything. These are meant to start the car the first time to do throwaway plugs. I don't feel like throwing away almost $100 in spark plugs for BKR, blah, 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 8IX, you know, Iridiums. These are some generic plugs from NGK that are meant for Supra, non-gapped. Start putting some in there. Again, these are just for startup, just to get them in there. You know, they're foul out, be junk, whatever, from running fuel, just to check them. I don't want to run anything special. It just doesn't make any sense from a money standpoint. So just throwing these in, torquing them down. I forget what the foot-pounds is. And just, yeah, brand new head, brand new spark plugs. Why not? So yeah, getting as much as I can into the car and getting it closer and closer to startup. This is something you guys don't have to do, but I am doing. So on my wife's car too, and actually, let's just go show you on hers so you guys can get a little bit better of understanding. And again, is this necessary? No, but it just looks better. So see how that hose comes out right there. and it comes out the front. I have to kind of like wind it around and go that way. Well, you can actually take the top hat off of this and rotate it. I actually contacted them and said, yep, not a problem. You can 100% do that. It won't cause any adverse effects. With my wife's, it was a little tight because we have the dipstick here, so it didn't really make sense. But on my car, I don't have that dipstick, so I have the room. So I'm like, why not? Let's rotate it and make a little bit more room. So what you need to do is, you'll come here and you're gonna use a 5/64 and 1/16. So here and here, take out all these little bolts. The set screw must come out first. Set screw here, this guy here must come out first. Then you can take out the rest of the little bolts. And then the little top hat here, so zoom out, pops off. That's all it is. It's very simple, very light piece. And then just has this little spring in it, just with a diaphragm, just like a wastegate. Has this little piece on top. And that's it. So I can now spin this and set it however I'd like. So if I want to set it this way, I can. Yeah, pretty neat how that works. So, or maybe I can't because now I'm looking at it. So like when I look at it here, so I can set it like this, which is factory, or it lets you rotate it, right? But if you rotate it, you can set it like that, which is not completely off to the side. It's kind of like at an angle. So it's not perfect, but that does work. So maybe I'll just do that actually, because it actually does shoot it down and over instead of coming forward. I actually do like that because it's not shooting that way either. So actually I'm gonna bolt it up like that. That will work for me. So cool. Again, put these bolts in first, take your time, do not strip it. So use your finger, put the pressure on it, line the bolts up, get them started, and then crank those down, then put the set screw back in. So this is what it looks like then when done. Again, nothing crazy here, but it shoots it off this way instead of coming here and then pulling it down. I don't know, I like that. And it's just loose because here's what I have going on underneath. So here's the vacuum line. I use a 90-degree fitting, run it off, and again, I'll get a little bit tighter up. I thought about making this the hard line, but this here needs to be able to move. I don't want to make it too tight one way or the other by putting a hard line on it because this needs to shift and move, so didn't want to do that. And put the stress then on this little tiny nipple. I just didn't feel comfortable with that. They sell a 3-in fitting from Radium, so you guys can purchase that if you'd like. I think it's like 15 bucks. It's proprietary to this. I wish they made a 9-degree fitting, actually messes them. They don't, because I'd like something that comes off and comes straight down instead of having that kind of loop, because I don't like that. You don't want this too tight too and pinch it. This is a silicone hose too, so it never goes bad. It doesn't have to worry about heat. It's not a rubber hose, like a standard like nitrile rubber hose. I might do some with this, run a 9-degree fitting, shoot this down. Haven't decided on that yet either. Down here, this is a 6-AN fitting. Let me get over here. See if this focus. That is a 6-AN fitting to 1/8-inch MPT. That is going to be for my brake booster. I've got a fitting coming to go for that. Again, this is all Red Horse stuff. 90-degree fitting to a sensor. Now I could run the sensor straight up into it, but to keep it from hanging down, my filter's here, my hand hitting it. I like this idea, plus put some wiring over here. Makes it a little bit easier for my hands to get under. Blocked off that one there. Again, Red Horse makes these 1/8-inch MPT block offs. And then this one here is going to be a 90-degree 1/8-inch MPT to 4-AN. And I'm gonna run that up to this guy here. This is going to be my blow-off valve line. I used it on my last engine, so I'm just reusing it. Doesn't need anything. The only thing I'm doing different is because it's gonna be just like this fitting and being a 90-degree, I'm gonna put a straight fitting on it, take the 90-degree fitting, because it keeps it nice and tight. When you have a straight fitting, then a long 90, again, it gets close to this. I wanna be able to get my hand under here. And again, guys, I like using the factory filter housing. I don't like the relocations. Nothing against PHR or anybody that makes them. Personal preference. I don't like it on the block because no matter what you do, when you take the filter off with a union bolt, it drips oil down the side. Not a fan of that. Now, someone's probably asking me, well, Ryan, then how do you take the filter off this without making a mess? Ziploc baggie. What I do is break it loose just so I can easily get easily get it off. Slip a Ziploc baggie over top of it and spin it, drops it inside the baggie, little bit of oil drop, pull the baggie out, has it contained in there, no drops below, at least I haven't had any issues. I usually put one like blue Scotch paper towel down or whatever. And no, Scots, not Scotch. And I have no problems. I just like this simple, effective, less lines, less stuff to deal with. When I do a change my oil, I feel like I can do it really quick. With this new setup, I can get my arm down there really easily. If we come out here to my wife's, I just actually took it for a drive, because I'll be taking this to cruise week coming up here. But now, if you come over here to this side, you can see I have all this room here, especially now the dipstick's there. I can get my arm, right here's the filter. So there's my arm, I can grab it with ease, like all that room, all this room now. Grab it, spin it, pull it right up and out like you see all the room here. It comes straight up and out, boom, and done. And so I don't have to get under the car or anything. So after you drain the oil out of this, I just put it back down, pull the filter off, and I, knock on wood, haven't had any issues doing it that way. Just a suggestion, guys. All right, guys, last thing I'm gonna leave you with is something I get asked constantly, especially on my wife's car, is how I did this brake booster setup. So on my wife's car, if we actually go over again, let's do this. Let's just go over to it. And again, I'll show you on hers, then I'll show you the part numbers over there real quick. Let's do this fast. It's sunny. But you can see that there, run my line down into a Red Horse vacuum valve. So I got rid of all the stock stuff. That's 100% AN fittings and Red Horse. So all the stock stuff is gone. I didn't even know they made something like that, so it was pretty cool. But the hardest part for the most part is up here at the brake booster. Everyone asks me, what do you do or what do you use to get this set up? I personally don't think this is the most beautiful setup. It's just kind of what you have to use. I need to get 120 degree fitting, get it on there. I've seen guys take this, you can flip the brake booster around and you have to notch out the firewall slightly. Personally, I'm not willing to do that. I'll take this ugliness versus notching out the firewall. This doesn't make sense to me. So what you use is these two fittings, which are these here. So guys, if you want to take a screenshot of this, these are the part numbers. What you're using is a 6AN male 3/8 SE. Quick disconnect, so that is this part here. So it's actually, can I get this off? There we go. Let's do this so you guys can physically see it, that these are two different fittings. You can see there, it's pretty much, well, I know exactly what I can tell you what it is. It is the exact fitting you guys use for a flex fuel sensor. So that's what it is, and then 120 degree 6AN fitting, like this. Again, nothing special. Get the 3/8 SAE quick disconnect on. What I will tell you is this, it doesn't just go on. So what I usually do is, I have to shove 2 rubber O-rings up inside, like get it to go up and seat. Then I use a, just a standard crush washer and put that in there to give it like a place for it to press against those O-rings. And that creates my seal in there just because it just has too much slack and I haven't had any leaks. I've pressure tested my wife's, no problem. That is really tight on there. I mean, it's on there. So don't be afraid when you're cranking it down, it will work, it will seat, and it'll keep it from leaking. So works for me. Again, 2 rubber O-rings and just a brass copper washer. You just got to find the right size. I just happen to have one that worked perfect. I'm not sure what size you need. I had one, again, 2 of the same ones used on hers, it used on mine. So I can't give you more information than that, but 2 O-rings and then 1 copper crush washer to press up on the O-rings. You guys will get it once you try it. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Insta. Thank you guys very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.